Okay, so it's been broken down so that we don't do a whole day webinar in the end of the day, but I think it's important that in the end of the day, I share bits by bits for you so that you can work through it and so that we all can learn in the end of the day to make this a success. I want you all to be successful in business in the end of the day. And it's for me, it's important that you just listen to everything that I've said, because in this period that we are in of the coronavirus, it's time to start thinking outside of the box and do things differently. You have the most perfect time now to do your marketing so that you can be seen by everyone out there. Why? Everyone is currently on social media. Everyone is sharing videos. Everyone is on WhatsApp. Everyone is posting. Everyone has the time now. Now it's the time for you to put out information and brand yourself and market yourself and your services so that in the end of the day, when this period is over, that people will remember you. Now, just one thing is you won't be able to see me today, and that is just so that we can save on bandwidth so that you at least can hear everything that I say. Okay. One thing that is important is that as you see, I have a multiple group of companies. One is myself as a peak performance coach, keynote, and global speaker. Then I also have a digital marketing company, and that's the reason why I do marketing workshops. This is my passion in the end of the day, and I want to share with you all. I've studied, I'm busy with my MBA in marketing. I have my bachelor's degree in marketing. I love marketing. I read up on marketing. And the things that you're going to learn from me are out of the box. It's totally different from what all of the other speakers say out there. So be ready to learn as much as possible. And remember, please ask questions. I think for me is the most important is that there's an answer for any question. We're living in a period of time that we can really change the way the world is. So I just want to do it this way. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so let's start it. One thing that's important is if you choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. So the most important thing about what I do is if you share what you love, it's easy to share. You will talk to everyone about it, and that's the way you can also fall in love with your own job. Is just start telling people about the great things that you do in your work at the moment or your business. I have this partner of mine. She has a brand called Color My Soul. Her brand is skyrocketed in the last year, and the only reason, one of the reasons why, is that she tells everyone about our passion. She would get into escalator and will pass people and will stop them and say, look, please like my page, and she will go on her Facebook and see, oh, it's Color My Soul, please like it and follow me, and that's what it's about. It's to share your passion with the world the same way I'm doing at the moment. I'm sharing my passion with you. Now, just to give you some who's my gurus that I follow and who's the people that have impacted me on my business, my life, and my career. And this is been the one on the top left is Gary Vee. He's a top social media marketer. If you can just go follow him, he will really show you what is going on in the world and where you need to be and how you need to be there. So that's one of my gurus. One is Leon Latergan, also a business coach. He also has a big impact on my life. Then in the last few years, there's Hannes Dreyer that had started me on this career, actually. He helped me that how can I say that I walked on fire for the first time, 500 to 600 degrees. He also helped me to think out of the box and approach business and out of the box way of doing things. And then there's Grant Cardone, the top salesperson in the world, he says. But for me, I find every day I find nuggets in him. Now, next is my dad, Tienes. He's also been a great mentor in my life. Been in business, grew over 37 stores, 60 properties, own game farm, and he's basically retired at the moment. And so I learn a lot from him as well. And then there's a few other guys, from Tony Robbins, that is an impact. And Goggins, Shetty, Neil Patel, there's so too many of the pictures to show you. But I want to ask you, do you have a guru that in your marketing area or in your business area or in sales area that you follow and that you learn from? I think that is the one most important, especially in this time that we're in lockdown, is that we need to learn as much as possible and upskill ourselves. I think that is the most important thing in the end of the day, is who do you learn from? Thank you for those who are learning from me today, and that we will make this a moment that will, I promise you, will change your life, the way you look at things in the social media and marketing space. So a little bit more about myself. I'm not going to go into detail who I am, Kobus Visser. I told you already in the basic sense who I am. But here's a link, https://show.by Kobus Visser. And it's important for me that you go and follow me on all social media. All my links are there, to my Facebook, to my LinkedIn. There's even a link to my profile. I think if you can do that, that would be great. Let me quickly just also put it in the chat box so that you all can have it. Let's do that. Okay, so hopefully you all have it. If you don't, I believe, yeah, there I put it. You can just follow me on all social media. Please send me a friend request. Also, like my pages. This is what marketing is about, is to support each other. And if you send me your pages and your links, I will also go and like them. And if you've enjoyed the series on marketing, to give me also feedback on my LinkedIn as a recommendation and on my Facebook pages. But that's for me for now. Please go learn about who Kobus Visser is. Okay, next one is, let me help you to crush it in 2020. I think we're in a difficult time and a challenging time, and we need to start changing our mindset. I've been flooded with all the negative news of what's happening in South Africa and the world. And the thing is, the more we look at all the negative stuff, the more we attract the negativity. It's important for us is to focus on all the positive around us. What is in our control? There's so many things that is not in our control, and we can't control the uncontrollables. So let's look at what we can control. What are some of the controllables? Yeah, I said, coronavirus is currently in the world. It will bankrupt more people than it kills, and that is the real global emergency. And, so how can we as businesses survive during this period? Now, I'm not only going to focus on marketing this views in this series, but I also do a business series where I will help you with business strategies and how to look at your income, expenses, and how you can really create strategies to survive during this period. But for today, we're going to focus on marketing. Now, one thing that's important, and I'll show you this image about the Springboks, is that 2 years before that, it's like I am, Rassie Erasmus came to the team and said to the South Africa, we're going to go win the World Cup. Nobody believed him. Now I'm going to come to you and I'm going to say, you can crash it in 2020 and you can have the best business year of your business. But you have to start believing it. The Springboks had to create that belief. The world started, every game they played after that in the first year, they started losing. And people said, but you're losing, how are you going to win? You see, by losing, they learned and they gained experience. By starting your social media and digital marketing, you're not going to get it perfect the first time around. The importance is that you start, because the more you start and the more you do, the better you get. You get those skills, and before you know it, you're in the World Cup and you are winning the games and you are winning the cup. But the thing is, if you're never going to start, you're never going to get there. And nobody gave them the chance. So the belief has to start with you, even if the world is against you. And every game that you play, every post that you post and you see no likes, remember, don't give up. It's about consistency. So yes, a few people that have been at the past few workshops, I would have loved to have you at a physical workshop, to have you part of that energy, to have you part of that experience. But I can already tell you, a few of the people in these images have already gone and made big success on their social media. There's at the bottom Body 20, and I have the crypto school, and then the crypto guys. There's Burger that has a furniture business and a guest house. There's everyone here is doing a successful on top. I can go into detail, but for me, it's the most important is these guys came and they started. Now, marketing has never changed in the history. You get different you get different marketing in the end of the day. There's audio visual, there is a written word, and it all comes together in the end of the day. But the challenge is we want to take a flyer and put it on social media on Facebook. That doesn't work. We want to take a flyer and create the video out of it. And how do we do that? The challenge is that the world found is the first time they went to TV. Radio was before that the number one way of advertising. Before that was newspapers. It was actually a challenge taking a newspaper ad and a magazine ad to radio, and then they went to TV. So just me show you. I know there's probably not sound, but this is the first ever TV ad in the world. All that it shows is an image, and the words that come with it. It's one of America is one boulevard time. It's just one single word. So what does that mean? It's not even attracting. It's not. They just basically took a radio ad and put it on TV. And the thing is the same. Most people are struggling on social media as they try to think the way that things have been done the last 20 years. This is how we can just put it online. I have people putting their whole flyers online and they don't get traction because it's too busy. People want a story. People want a connection. It's not about selling anymore, but it's about creating value. It's about sharing experiences. So I already want you to start thinking differently of how to do it. Now, how do you do that? One thing is important is that when you create your brand, there's two different brands. There's first is your company brand and business brand, that you have to create. But the thing is, the second thing that you also need to look at is your personal brand. That's your personal name. And why that is important is that your company might change in the future, but you will never change. And the thing is, you need to position yourself out there as a physical brand as well. And the reason for that is people remember people. People do business with people. And the other thing about your personal brand as well is your personal brand can always change. You can one moment be a real estate person, the next moment you can be a salesperson. The moment after that, you can be selling cookies on the street corner. But that you have to create a personal brand. Where a company brand, it's hardly to change. You can't suddenly be Coca-Cola selling drinks and the next moment you start selling houses under the name of Coca-Cola. It just doesn't make sense, doesn't fit. So it's important for me is for you to thank you, Krupa, for your feedback. Hopefully everyone still sees what's happening on. So thank you for giving me feedback. Can you still all see my screen? Krupa, if you can just give me an idea there, or anyone. So for me, it's important is what is your brand? Can you all just look for me? What is your brand currently? Do you have a brand? Do you have a company brand? And that is the one thing that is important, is to start building your brand. Now, next thing for me it's important is how do you do that? Now, for you to get the maximize what you get out of this program, it's important that you commit to the process. Most people fail not because of the lack of desire, but because of their lack of commitment. Without commitment, nothing happens. You can say, Quibus, I'm going to start. You can be committed for the first 2 days, and they're like, oh, no, this is not working for me. Most people give up because maybe they get negative feedback and they not commit to the process, and you need to commit to the process. Remember, there is no instant gratification. Beware. The faster you try to change something, the more likely you are to fail. I would be probably one of the richest business coaches out there if I had this magic pill where you can instant create the results that you wanted to create. There is no, unfortunately, instant gratification. It's still a process, and it's a process that you have to follow consistent. It's all about the Kaizen philosophy. It means improvement by applying small daily changes. Small, you start with 1% and you start with one thing a day. Let's say we get to social media, Facebook. Just start with Facebook. Don't go to Instagram, all of the Twitter, all of the other platforms. Start with one, get it underneath, and how can I say, get your hand of it. And before you know it, you can move on to the next one. Knowledge, most people say knowledge is power. Let me tell you, knowledge is not power. I have all the knowledge to have a six pack. But guess what? I think Krupa would tell you, I don't have a six pack. Um, uh, but the thing is, applied knowledge is power. We can have all of this knowledge and I can share with you all of this. But if you don't put motion to it and action, it will never happen. And hopefully you all learn from this and start implementing after this training. So, what is the focus? Remember, do 1%, one thing at a time on a daily, and become part of the small 1%ers in the world that applies these changes. Again, the power of tiny gains. If you do 1% every day, you will grow by 37.78%. But if you do 1% worse every day, you will not grow that much. This is just an amazing graph to show you, if you just apply consistency, what results you can get in 12 months. I can promise you, you will double your growth. One of the companies we worked with grew almost 89% in the last 12 months, just applying the same philosophy. So important, I want to ask you is your mindset is important. Please don't be fixed based on your belief what cannot change, where you are at the moment because of the corona, what is in the news, or limiting beliefs, where are you stop you, or you just want security. Doesn't wake the sleeping giant. You resist any learning. You just doesn't do anything. You are threatened by others. You are so risk averse. You're not willing to take some risks. Rather have a growth mindset. Where you constantly want to learn, you seek growth, you seek education and learning. It's time to wake that giant inside of you. You're excited, like me, always to learn new things. I'm going to learn you a lot of new things that I've learned as well. You see setbacks as challenges. You always ask for help. Remember, you have my email address, so send me asking for help. You collaborate with others happily, and you are willing to take risks. So the disclaimer is, the value of this cannot be disputed because it's up to you in the end of the day to apply and use the knowledge and the tools. Your screen keep changing color to green covers. Hopefully, as long as you still can see in the end of the day, thank you for that feedback, my screen and what is written on it. But I will send you the PowerPoint slides and the recording for you to watch afterwards as well. So thank you for that feedback. So first and foremost for me is I want you to tell me about you. So you're not going to do it now, but I want you to send me an email that you need to tell me about yourself. So let's start the first day's workshop. The only thing that you have in this world is your name. My dad used to say this, look after your name. That's the only thing you have. If you first lose your name, you never get it back. So what does that mean? Well, important is, like I said in the beginning, is to build your personal brand. Now, the one thing that is important is if nobody knows your name or nobody cares what your name is, it means nothing. So you can throw your name anytime because nobody knows your name. Nobody cares about your name. And that is what I tell my clients usually. I will always be ethical. I will never step over the line. And the reason for that is my name is so important. Whoever I coach, whoever I work with, there's no relationships. It's all professional. And the reason for that is my name is so important to me. I'm building mainly my name called Kobus Visser, the Superman of South Africa. I brand myself as this hero and this guru. And for me, I need to protect it. The moment I do something wrong or post something wrong on social media, it can harm my brand. And in today's age, social media is in such a way that it will spread and it will hurt a lot of people. So look after your name. So start building a name, so that at the end of the day, if you're in your own business, if you're working for a company, think about it. You have now a month, 2 months, 3 months to build this personal brand that if you had to go look for a job or start a business, that people start knowing about you. And how do you do that? You start sharing your passion, your dreams, and what you love. So in your words, in 3 words, please tell me, what do you do? I get into a room the other day of a marketing workshop, and everyone tells me what they do, and they're all in real estate. What do you do? I'm a real estate agent. What do you do? I'm a real estate agent. What do you do? I'm a real estate agent. The challenge of that is that you need to look at standing out from the crowd. How do you do that? If everyone is a real estate agent, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to negotiate about the price. because the first thing you say, now we'll just go to the other real estate agent, and then you go that one, and once you got your price, you go to the next one and say, look, that one is willing to give me that. So at the end of the day, you don't stand out, you're just part of the crowd. So one thing that you need to start putting yourself out there, not as only your business, but you yourself as well, is to, what are you a guru at? Are you a specialist? Are you a mentor? I call myself the the business and marketing strategist. That's how I put it. I put myself as the team culture and firewall guru in that industry. In the coaching, I call myself the peak performance mental strength coach. So what are you? Are you a leader? Are you a consultant? Are you the number one? I have this one client that calls him the honest IT advisor. He's not just an IT, he's the honest IT advisor, because most people have been taken chances of, or been taking a ride off by IT companies. And that's why he positions himself as the expert IT honest advisor. So what are you an expert in, and how do you position yourself? So one thing that is important is, through this, is you need, by branding yourself and that you are the expert and that you're all of this, is that people hear that you are the best. Nobody say, Kubis, but how can I say I'm number one? The thing is, when you put you on the number one, you have to put out content that you are number one in the world. Marketing is when you're now going to tell the world, look, I am the expert, I am number one. You need to follow me, you need to do business with me. So how can you say that you are the genuine subject matter or expert? You become one. You become one through sharing your knowledge, either through podcast or webinars like I'm doing at the moment, videos, anything that you can put out there to show that you are number one. Are you doing at that moment? Are you sharing your knowledge? Are you testing ideas and sharing your opinion? Are you involved in all social media? I think that is the most important, is we need to get yourself to be an expert by sharing your knowledge. Unfortunately, this is where we are today. We are in the digital age, and you're going to start seeing a lot of people on social media sharing their content, sharing their info, sharing their value they have at the moment to give. Most people don't want to give something for free. Well, it's time to start giving for free. What do I mean by free? Free content, free information, free DIYs. You're going to get those people that's just going to get the free versions and the free content. But you're going to find that there are people that's going to say, look, I like what you say. I would love to do more business with you, and I'm willing to pay for you. So here's an example of how you can position yourself. And I'm just going to pick out a few that I love. The one there is a chef. I am a classic chef extraordinaire. It sounds like a chocolate eclair. It sort of brands with that. Not brand. Rhymes with that. You can taste it in your mouth. Imagine a property agent. I'm a master property agent, or I'm your private events director. I'm your money maestro. It stands out. You're selling different, and it makes people stop. Or if you had to say it in 5 words, it is like, I am Esmani, your personal jeweler of jewels. Imagine that. I'm your private money insurance. I'm not just a money insurer, or what is this, life insurance people, or people that work with helping you to invest your money. Imagine that, to say, I'm your private wealth insurer, or I'm Clive, your personal property hunter, or it's just simply your exclusive property seller. It means that you can charge your price. You don't have to negotiate, because you're not just a normal property agent or a real estate agent. You're a personal, you make it personally, or you're just an exclusive property seller. Suddenly, people will pay your price. Think about it. I am Mary, the chief and preferred caterer for corporates. It's not I'm just a caterer. I'm the preferred caterer for corporates. Suddenly, corporates will do business with her, because just by that words, she stands out, and people say, oh, so she is preferred. Remember, people make assumptions. People usually, go think about it, don't go and search And if they go search, they will find the info and content you have put out on social media, on podcast. All of that will show them that you are the preferred caterer for corporates. And that is why it's so important to brand yourself and put content out there on all social media platforms. And again, people make assumptions. If they say you're number one, most people accepted it because they assume it. And if they go look at your social media and it looks like it, it just confirms what you've been saying. So in 5 words for me, what do you do? This is your homework, by the way. So please write this down in more than 5 words now. Tell me what you do. You are what? And what are you an expert? You can't just say, I'm a real estate agent, or I work in the BEE, or I'm an artist. I think Krupa would say it the best, see colors your soul. Wow. Okay. How do you do that? So it's important that you write down in 5 words, what do you do? Okay, so while we're on that as well, please also write down for me, what platforms do you currently use for your business? Offline, like from flyers, business cards. Online, you're looking at sending out emails. I do webinars, or I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I post 3 times a day. What platforms are you on currently? And then the next thing is, what platforms do you actually get business from? Do you know? Most people tell me where they get business from. Oh, because it is from word of mouth. What type of word of mouth? Is it from friends? Is it from family? Is it from suppliers? Are you measuring where you get business from? Is it Facebook? How many from Facebook? What type of business do you get from them? What do they ask? Because each platform will be totally different. So it's important for you to start looking at answering the questions. Where do you get business from? Because if we can't measure it, how do you know if something is working? So for me, it's important is that when you're on any platform, is to measure it so that you can know which platform works for you and which platform doesn't work for you. So it's important to look at this going forward. The next thing is you need to also understand your customer experience. One of my mentors, Roger Hamilton, talks about it and says, you in your mind think, this is how my customer is going to work. And you're going to create this perfect design of where they should walk. But at the end of the day, if you don't listen to your customer, you're going to lose your customer. And as you can see on the picture on the screen, is it comes down to, can everyone still see my screen? Just want to see. Can you see, just give me some feedback there. Can you see the guy walking? Just want to check. The user experience is important, is because the customer will tell you what you need to do. And if you work from your customer back, how do they find you? Where do they look? How do they search? How do they find the product? He says, best advice if you're just starting to grow your business, focus at your customer more than what your product is. Get fixed on your customer's experience, and your product will keep changing to serve them best. But fix your product, and customer will find a path that fits them with or without you. If you are waiting on the street corner, wondering where all your customers are, this post is for you. So that is important for me, is that start with your customer first before you look at your product and what your product is. Okay, so again, let's quickly look at what's the difference between branding and marketing. Branding is your why, where marketing is how you do it. Branding is why, purpose, and vision, where you share it, your loyalty. Everything is a perception. Remember that. Not only an assumption, but a perception that you portray. It's your equity, it's your value, it's your quality. Marketing is where you communicate this to the world. You generate responses. You are on top of mind of all of your customers. This is also tactical. It's you push out the right info towards the right target market to grow your business. 2 types of platforms that I want you to think about it is, one, there's interruption. An interruption platform is a platform where people are not specifically looking for a solution, but you need to interrupt them. You need to stop them to think, do I need this in my life? Do I need this in my business? And by positioning yourself as an expert, they come in, and it's like being a purple light, where you attract them. They fly by and they see the purple light, and it's like, I want to go to the purple light. Intentional is a platform where people are intentionally looking for a solution, whether it's your or not or similar. This is like they go read the newspaper in the area for advertisements. They go Google, and they go in the telephone book. They search on social media. They search on Facebook. They search on groups. They post on groups. So that is intentional. That's from the customer side, where they put it out, and this is the customer experience. How do they find you? Again, there's the difference between interruption marketing and inbound marketing. I'm not going to go through this. This is when I get to content creation that is important. We will go through this. Remember, I will send you all of this. Again, where do your leads come from? You can take a screenshot. I want you to go think about it in your business or in your career. Does it come from cold calling? Do you send out SMSs? How many incoming calls is coming? Do you network? Most people go to networking events. And if you had networking events, how do you network? How do you follow up? Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Instagram, referral traffic, referral traffic through social media. Is people sharing your post? Is people sharing your videos? There's word of mouth. Do you get website inquiries? Do you get email inquiries? This is important. If you don't know where it comes from, how can you spend your time? How can you spend your money? This is why measuring everything that you do in marketing is the most important. And the reason for this is the moment you find that works for your business, you can spend 80% of your time and resources on that, and 20% of your time and resources on all of the other platforms, because you need to still build a brand. So please measure and get everything written down, where every result is coming from. And then in your marketing experience, as we're going forward, you need to look at your stats every month. During the month, what has been working, what has not been working. But you do your big reassessments every 3 months. And the reason for every 3 months is that will give you a real average, what is working and what's not working. Because certain platforms take time. LinkedIn does take time, because not everyone is every day on LinkedIn. Everyone is at least once a week on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn will take time, but in 3 months, you will see on all of the different platforms what gets the results and what doesn't get the results. And I want you to look at that in your business. Is every 3 months you start making a decision of what you're going to change, because it's not worth it spending your time on things that doesn't work and that doesn't get results. So every 3 months, I suggest where you have a full day strategy session with yourself and your marketing team, or you get me in and we look at what's working and not working, and then we change it for the next 3 months. Things have changed too much this past few years. Most businesses does once a year a strategy session, and then the end of the year comes and they're like, we didn't hit our targets, we didn't make it. And the challenge is they kept on doing the same thing over and over that didn't work, and they expected they needed to grow for a different result. My thing to you is time for you to get someone in, so you strategize and you implement. Time is short, every 3 months, and I promise and guarantee you're going to get the results. So this 3 months you have now is the most important in your business and career. Why? The process that I follow is something called by being a farmer. Now, you can't just go out and plant seeds. If you didn't know the process, you can't just go and put all the seeds in the ground and think something is going to grow. The first important is that when I work with businesses, is that you first need to lay out your foundation. Get all your social media right. Get your website right. What is your message? Who are you? What expert are you? You get all the foundation right before you implement anything. And that is important, because then you know what strategies you're going to follow. Because the next step you do is you decide on what seeds you're going to plant and where you're going to plant it. This is also important, because certain seeds will take 12 months to give you a harvest. Some will give you a month. Some will give you 3 months. But at least you know that by planting the seed and looking after that seed on a consistent basis. Now, the importance of this is, sometimes we don't see the results immediately. Some people will keep on putting water and talking to the seed, but you don't see nothing growing. And this is why consistency is key, and being persistent is that by doing this, before you know it, you will start seeing the plants grow, or your seed grow in front of your eyes. And then before you know it, if it's 3 months, 9 months, 6 months, 12 months, your harvest will be ready. And this is why every 3 months is so important, is because then by end of month 3, you should start seeing some harvest in whatever you have been doing or have been implemented. And so my question to you is, are you consistently measuring what you do? And I'm leaving it there. I'm just making you thinking about it. And hopefully you still see my picture. I just want to see on my other screen. I can't see that you are seeing at the moment. Just all on. For me, is Melissa Molnar says it perfectly. I see there my screen is happening. Consistency is key to success. You need to be consistent in the end of the day to reach the results. So consistency is key, every day, 1% at a time. Now, as we end here and we get to questions, is there any questions that you would love me to answer at this moment while we're on live? Any questions? Thank you for those who've signed in. Please, is there any questions you would like to? Any questions? Okay, so please send me questions on Facebook or email, and I will come back to you. For me, it's important is remember to go like me on social media, follow my profile. And this is for the first day. Today was just basic. It's about branding and about who you are and laying the foundation. And now we will do tomorrow as well, Thursday, Wednesday, and Friday. This whole week we've divided up into short sessions so that I don't overflood you, and I know you don't have the time to sit the whole day in front of your screen to learn. But this is my end of the first day. I hope you all learned a lot. I will send you the PowerPoint slides so that you can go through the first day, and send you the link to register for tomorrow. Any questions? So then I would say thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Krupa, for assisting on making sure the screen is ready and everything is showing. And if there wasn't anything, I apologize beforehand. But this is the process of the internet that has been slowed down. Okay. Stop sharing. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for being part of this. There's one question. Is it advisable to create a personal website to advertise your business, even if you are doing if you are doing different businesses? Pausa. Definitely. I think at the end of the day, I have my business's website, and I have my personal website. Remember, by branding yourself, you can tell everyone who you are and what you do and the different areas. It's like my one friend. He puts himself as an entrepreneur, and how can I say, the adventurous entrepreneur. And what he does is he shares all of his knowledge on his personal website about all of his businesses. He's in mining. He is in climbing. He has a climbing company where he takes people to climb mountains and do adventurous stuff. He also has a property business. He has a financial consultancy. And by branding himself as the adventurous entrepreneur, he can share knowledge to others about his businesses, and he puts himself as this expert. So people look up to him. So, of course, yes, you can definitely position yourself one website for per business, and then one for yourself as well. Does that answer your question? Yes, I will definitely pause. I'm going to put it in the group. You can definitely contact Greta. I'm just going to put it at cddigital.com. She can definitely assist you with a quote of creating websites. And the reason why I use CD Digital is they know how my process works. They understand you when you start looking at all of the other marketing that we're going to do. They understand it. And most digital companies and website companies don't have a clue. I've struggled with this in the past because they don't know how most of the system works. They're like, oh, you need a website. Let's create you a beautiful website. And the pause, I would tell you that having a perfect website it doesn't have to be perfect. I have had people with ugly websites. You can go check mine as well. That gets great results. As long as it's basic, you position yourself as the expert. People can see that you are the expert, and you have a great call to action. You will sell. So I've put Greta at cddigital.com. Please send her details. Do you have any other questions, if I may ask? Anyone else? So I think that in the end of the day is that would be then the answer in the end of the day. Okay. Thank you, Posa, for answering and sending questions. I'm looking forward to all of you to follow me on the next one. You should all have a beautiful day. Go and start getting your foundation right by building your brand going forward. This is important for me, is that we need to start at the beginning. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Have a beautiful day. Have a great day. And thank you for being part of this webinar this morning. Cheers.